Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today. My name is Mel Rose, and I'm here to share your daily aspects. Today is March 12, 2022, Saturday, and the sun is in Pisces. Sun in Pisces is a time to breathe, to rest, and to use our imaginations. Neptune in Pisces brings a doubling effect of inspiration and feeling connected to spirit and to the people around us as well. Mercury in Pisces brings added color and fun to our thoughts, plans, and conversations, although it may be at the expense of some precision or directness, right? And then Jupiter in Pisces brings positive growth and good fortune to all of our creative endeavors. So I hope that you're like me and you're noticing the sort of spotlight on the expanded inspiration and creativity that this time has brought us, and also, the fresh, colorful, creative way we're finding to think and communicate as well. The moon is in Cancer, and this encourages us to focus on the way things feel in our personal relationships and our homes, while the waxing gibbous phase encourages taking action toward the culmination of short-term and long-term goals. Taking action here. And I'm going to go ahead and get right into the aspects. I just want to remind you that there's a legend on the side here. All of the symbols that are on the page, most of the symbols that are on the page are in the keys. So if you need a name or a word that goes with the symbol, that's all right here. Otherwise, I'm going to go over it as we go through the aspects. And I have divided the page into two columns, one for each of our luminaries. The moon sheds light on our inner lives. This is about our relationship with ourselves, how it feels to be in our body, our heart, and our mind, those things we think, feel, know, and intuit, and also how we're engaged in our home life, as well as whoever is there with us. And the aspects that the moon makes are really brief. They take about 2 hours. The transits are only 2.5 days. So it only takes 2.5 days for the moon to get from Cancer into the next sign, which is Leo. So these quick movements, they have a lot more to do with, again, that stuff that's on the inside, our personal lives, those things that we think, feel, know, and intuit, but that might not ever find expression out in the world. The sun sheds light on our outer lives. This is more about the part of us that interfaces with the rest of the world. So the way we are and how we come to be in our workspaces and in our social and civic spaces, the part of us that people get to know when they first meet us. And I address the sun and the rest of the planet's aspects over on this side because they take longer than those lunar aspects, and they have more to do with what gets expressed out in the world in terms of our lives. And we begin with the moon today, Central Standard Time, friends, at 11:07 in the morning. The moon makes a trine with Jupiter. So trine, beautiful harmony, synchronistic vibration, ideal functioning of the energies involved. And which energies are involved? That's our inner life, how those things we think, feel, know, and intuit, and how we feel about our home space as well as ourselves. And Jupiter, which is our planet for growth and expansion. It takes us out of the personal and into the more public. It helps us interface and grow in the world. It represents like higher education and travel abroad and bigger business. So, good fortune, things that grow our sense of who we can be and what we can have in the world. And when the moon is in aspect with Jupiter, we have a good time. We can feel our growth. We feel generous and expansive. And, we want to share with others generously. We want to give others what we have. So this is a perfect time with that trine aspect for socializing. We feel very gifted in giving. We don't necessarily feel an urge to overgive. We just feel very sharing with the rest of the world. So, if you've got a lunch date, or if you want to reach out to a friend, or you want to socialize with some people, it's a good time to be doing it. And then This evening at 10:25 p.m., almost 12 hours later, the moon makes a trine with Neptune. So Jupiter and Neptune are both in Pisces with the sun, so the moon is making trine with both of those Pisces sun signs right now, and they're also co-rulers of Pisces, so they very much inform that creative, reflective Pisces vibe. Moon in aspect with Neptune can have us feeling inspired, but also has us feeling really intuitive. We can generally feel more the vibes of the people that are around us, because it's about our connection to spirit, and it's also about our connection to other people, to the larger community. So at this time in the evening, we might have this really high intuitive sensitivity that helps us in navigating our connections. So it's a good time if you're having any issues in your connections with other people, if you're having any issues in your connection with yourself, the work that you're trying to do, if you're having an issue in connecting with with the people that you keep closer to you, you might actually be able to turn within and do some intuitive work at this time and figure something out. A realization or an intuitive discovery might come to us at that time. Trine functioning, again, ideal functioning for that sense of connection to humanity and to spirit in our hearts and homes, within our hearts and in our domestic space. So both of those very positive functioning aspects for our inner life. And then on the sun side of the page, in the ongoing column, we have a couple of ongoing aspects. These came on at the same time, basically, and they're going to go out around the same time. They will be with us at least through the 20th of March, which will be the spring equinox. And then afterward, to a lesser degree, those powers will start to fade, but they'll still be with us. Venus conjunct Mars was in Capricorn for a while. Now they're in Aquarius. And, Saturn rules both Capricorn and Aquarius. Uranus also rules Aquarius. So there's very much a vibration about our structures, the networks that we rely on for support and validation, and our responsibility to maintaining them. Aquarius turns the focus outward to the community. It's about how we interact in our family groups, our friend groups, our social groups out in the world. And with Venus and Mars conjunct, this is an intensification of our receptive quality and our assertive quality. So this is very much about our partnerships, our partnership with ourselves, our romantic partnerships, our workplace partnerships, and also just those very close associations we have with friends and family, those people that you work closely with or just feel close to and communicate with a lot. Those are your partners as well. So the energies in those partnerships are intensified. Hopefully those partnerships have some goals. There are some goals you've set, or there are some things you want for that partnership, that you both want for that partnership. And right now, the drive to pursue our deepest desires is really strong. And how our partnerships function in relationship to the community matters. Okay, so if you've got dysfunction in your private partnership, or if you've got dysfunction even in your workplace partnership, that's going to have an impact on how you and your partnership and your partner are relating to the broader world. Okay. So really focus on those partnership goals. Focus on what you can do to be a good partner to the person or the people that you're partnered with. Focus on, helping them stay on task. Focus on those goals and keep in mind the context of community, okay? Because none of this happens in a vacuum. We are not individuals in a vacuum. We are not partners with people in a vacuum. There is always a relationship to the outer world to consider. And especially when we're in Aquarius, there can be a little bit of a rebellious vibe that comes in because Uranus is there partially ruling Aquarius. It's okay to be attracted to unconventional ways of doing things. Communicate with your partners. Probably they're on board with those unconventional ways of approaching your goals, but definitely important to communicate and important to be on the same page in terms of how we share ourselves in partnership with the rest of the world. And then Jupiter in a sextile with Uranus happening at the same time. So to me, these two are very much connected. Jupiter is, again, our sense of growth and expansion and good fortune. It gives us broadening experiences that help us grow our concept of who we can be and what we can have. And Uranus, again, is a little bit rebellious. It brings around shakeups that ask us to make changes. And, people around us don't always appreciate it when we make changes, right? Especially like Uranus will give you like an intuitive change to make it. It'll just come to you like, oh, I did this way and it didn't work so well, so I think next time I'm going to do it this way. Make sure you're communicating about the changes that you want to make again. But this sextile functioning between your positive growth and good fortune and your intuitive sense of when it's time to shift and make changes is very positive vibration. It's cooperative, and so it's likely they're working together, and so it's likely to generate something positive. If you can make those shifts and changes for the better, then you will see good fortune come your way. Expanding good fortune when we follow our creative urge to make positive shifts. And then today on the sun side of the page at 11:25 p.m., the sun makes a trine with the moon. And this really speaks to the phase of the moon. We're at a sort of halfway point between that first quarter moon and the full moon that is coming up next Sunday. So is it next Sunday? No, it's next Friday. So the full moon is coming up next Friday in less than a week. And we're going to, then shift from taking action into sort of celebrating the culmination of what we have achieved. So that's what that really represents, is this phase of the moon. Really, though, in symbolic terms, the sun in a trine position, again, this is ideal, positive functioning. You can get synchronistic happenings. You can get coincidences, things that kind of give you this idea that you're on the right track and things are going really well. And this is ideal functioning between your outer life and your inner life. So we are all sort of personally aligned in our most high functioning, best possible position to move forward on whatever it is that we're taking action to try to culminate right now. So that's today. Coming up tomorrow, the sun is going to make a conjunct with Neptune. It did this with Jupiter last week, and now it's doing it with Neptune. See, they're all in Pisces right now. Conjunct means that they're overlapping and they intensify one another's effects, right? Just like up here. So the sun is the spotlight. It's about our outer life, and it's what our attention in the outer life is drawn to. And then the Neptune is about our connection to spirit and our connection to humanity and our also sort of our intuitive senses, sort of our psychic senses, our ability to feel the vibrations of the things going on around us, which some of us are more sensitive than others, but it is definitely a muscle that you can flex. So when the sun is conjunct with Neptune, really our attention is just brought to our connection, our sense of connection, how we're feeling about humanity around us, how we're feeling in relation to spirit. And then the next day, on Monday, Neptune is going to reach its aphelion. So even though the spotlight is on Neptune at this time, it is at its farthest point, or it's about to come to its farthest point from the sun that it can get in its elliptical orbit around the sun. So this really reflects that intuitive vibe, that sense of connection. It might feel a little bit distant. It might feel a little bit tenuous. It might feel like our efforts and the intuitions that are coming to us are a little bit vague, or they're coming at us a little slowly. And that just has to do with the distance that Neptune is from the sun at this time. There's a whole bunch of other stuff going on next week, but I want to point out that on Friday we'll have the full moon in Virgo. Full moon in Virgo is a great time to celebrate, the culmination of whatever goals, or even partial culmination of goals that you have, and really just what you what you have, that you appreciate, what you have achieved, what you have made, what you've created, what you've done. That's the time to celebrate. And in Virgo, like Virgo is an earth sign, but it's ruled by Mercury. So it's mutable, and it's about healing, and it's about making changes to make things better for ourselves. So that's a really good time to celebrate, because Virgo is just like an intensely positive sign from my experience, and we'll be able to be celebrating while we also are celebrating sort of like the healing that we're doing, and getting ready to reflect and make those changes as well. And then coming up on Sunday of next week, so not tomorrow, but Sunday of next week, the sun is going to make ingress to Aries. So here we are, just over a week out from the sun's transit into Aries. So the sun has been in Pisces for over 20 days now, and now it's going to shift into Aries just over a week from now. And that will be a shift from, that watery, reflective, playful vibe at the end of the zodiac to really a more assertive, direct, alert, and action-oriented vibe that comes with the beginning of the zodiac year and the beginning of the spring. So when the flowers are blooming and everything turns green and it stops being cold. So as much. That's the aspects for today, and I appreciate you all for being here. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I love to get your comments, and I will happily respond to them. Also, if you're still with me here some 16 minutes in, I invite you to like my video, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe and the notification bell. I post every day, and I wouldn't want you to miss out on a thing. And now I'm going to shift into talking a little bit about tarot. First, we're going to discuss the card on the side of the page, and then I'm going to put down a tarot card that just sort of represents the energies for today. And the tarot card on the side of the page right now is the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups represents the last 10 days of the sun's transit through Pisces, right? It's a 30-day transit, and it's broken down into 3 sections, and this is the last section. A Ten of Cups is really an intensely positive card. It's about emotions. Pisces is a water sign. Cups relate to water, and water is really representative of our emotions, our intuitions, our inspiration and creativity, those inwardly sourced things that help us express who we are in the world, with love and joy. So this is about happiness and emotional fulfillment. It represents sort of a deep feeling of unity with the world around us, a deep feeling of community with our unity with our community, unity with our family and friends, but especially, those people that we keep the closest to us. It says that we've done a lot of work on ourselves emotionally, and we've done a lot of work to create the life that we want for ourselves. You see, these people have this happy family, and it looks like a house and a piece of land, and just this sort of the freedom to stand around and appreciate the rainbow. And I love that for us. Creative satisfaction is one of the best kinds of satisfaction. It's really good for the self-esteem and one's sense of well-being in the world to look around you and see, like, everything I have tried to create is working out beautifully. And look, there's a rainbow that sort of signals that things are going well because I can stop and appreciate it. So, never forget to appreciate what you've had, what you have, especially in terms of emotion as a resource, intuition as a resource, inspiration and creativity as resources that are derived from within and that help you express your life in such a way that you feel rewarded just by having created things. I think it's beautiful energy. And now I'm going to go ahead and mix up these cards while I go through and remind myself and the cards that the sun is in Pisces today. Neptune and Jupiter, Pisces co-ruling planets, are in Pisces at this time. And Mercury is also in Pisces at this time. So this represents, expanded creativity, inspiration, and that's in our thoughts, plans, and communications. It's also just in our lives, especially our outer lives, our work, social and civic lives. We're taking a little time to rest and reflect, but we're feeling the intensity of that creative vibe, and we're expressing it, and it feels pretty good to us overall. And then the moon in Cancer is a waxing gibbous. Waxing gibbous advises us to take action. Moon in Cancer really says, we love our hearts and homes. We're attending our relationships with ourselves and with those people that we keep close to us, and we're attending the well-being of our home as well. Venus conjunct Mars in Aquarius is the intensification of our ability to pull toward us what we desire, and our ability to pursue what it is that isn't just pulling in toward us. So this is very much about our partnership goals, and we need to be thinking right now about how our partnership plays out in the context of our communities and our outer lives and our work, social, and civic spaces. If you have a partnership that seems to work really well when it's just the two of you, but then you get out into a social space or you get out into a work environment and things start breaking down, it's time to hit the drawing board with that partnership again. And it's really a time to think and communicate and collaborate creatively with your partners, so that things function well no matter where you are, no matter what context you take that partnership to. Jupiter sextile Uranus, very positive cooperative functioning between our sense of good fortune and expansion and our ability to quickly make intuitive shifts for the better in our lives. And today couldn't be a more ideal day for that, because we've got the sun trine moon aspect that indicates that phase of the moon, and just says, we've got this inner alignment, this sort of ideal alignment within ourselves that helps us, express ourselves and make those shifts as we need to. Very positive functioning on the lunar side we talked about, good for socializing. We feel gifted and giving. We're also going to engage some really highly intuitive sensitivity, but it's also highly functioning, so it's not likely to drag us down. It's really likely to help us move forward in some positive way. And with all of that said, I'm going to turn this card. The Three of Cups. Oh, I like getting cups and cups, guys. This is great. So the Three of Cups is a card about celebration. Definitely, especially among a group of your peers. So, you see three people here. These are people that, maybe we do and maybe we don't work together like in a workplace setting, but these are people who have the same sort of creative bent, and they get along very well, and they celebrate their union. Okay, so each of these people could be one of your partners in your friend group that you celebrate. And it's really important to remember when you are in celebration. Remember, I was talking about partnerships and public and the way we are interfacing with the public. And sometimes our partnerships are public partnerships, or sometimes those really firm partnerships, those really good relationships, are people that are friends and cohorts and peers that just understand your goals and want to support you in reaching them. And we celebrate those, and we celebrate the overall abundance that creativity brings us and connection brings us. So I love that for us. And I really believe that's all I have to say about it today, friends. So I'm going to leave you here. I appreciate you all for being here every day. Thank you so much for showing up again. My name is Mel Rose, and I will see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today.